Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. Getting ready to start my day. And one of the things that always comes up when we talk about training, people always chime in with, hey, I don't have access to the right equipment. I only have access to machines. I know you think machines are useless. I don't have access to barbells, things like that. What am I supposed to do for my training? And this is stuff that comes up a lot. It seems like this is a regular problem. And what I'm going to tell people is you're just not trying very hard. I'm sorry, but that's the simple reality. Other than maybe a tiny percentage of people who maybe they live, I don't know, 300 miles from Anchorage up in Alaska. You're just not trying very hard. But even then, you could get on one of those little planes once a week and find a way to fly into Anchorage and find a place with some barbells. You can get on a little plane and fly in every week if you were serious about your gains. But here's what I'm going to say with that. Let's assume you're in a scenario to where you have limited funds. You don't have access to a lot of stuff. Let's say the only thing near you are some tiny little commercial gym that only has machines and maybe a bench press. All right. You're telling me you can't find the other days of the week some bars somewhere to do dips and chin-ups on or something? You're telling me that all you have access to is machines? I don't believe that. And I promise you, any of you that have a vehicle or you have access to buses or some sort of public transportation, let's say you're on a pretty tight budget. All right, you need to find a gym somewhere that has a place where you can squat, deadlift, do the press, things like that. And here's what I'm going to say. Every one of you can find something like that. Every one of you can find something like that. Even if you're a broke high school student, well, you need to get a little part-time job. If you're serious about your gains and you don't have access to stuff, you will get a part-time job where you work after school for a few hours every week so that you can afford to take a bus or a taxi and a gym membership somewhere so that every Saturday morning you can find a gym that's an hour away from you, an hour away. So you just dedicate your whole Saturday morning to it. You'll get up at 5 a.m. so that you can get there and use the stuff before other people are there, right? Because, the squat racks might be crowded. You might find a gym that has 4 squat racks, but they're in use at night. Well, that's right, because people who go at night aren't serious about their gains. People who are serious about their gains go before work in the morning, unless they're going to a gym where they have access to everything whenever they get off work. Now, I used to have to do that. I used to work when I worked for Cameron, my corporate job. I used to work 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I flipped through 24-hour fitness for 30 minutes after work, and I managed to get a couple squat sessions in, managed to get a deadlift session in, some benching, rowing, and other stuff on my other 3 days. I managed to pull it off, right? 30-minute workouts. But the 24s, I never had a problem with that. But again, I tended to get off work at something like 6 o'clock, and I'd hit the gym. So I'd be there, 6:30. Before that biggest evening rush comes, right? So you don't try to get into a gym late at night. That's when all the goof-offs are in a gym. That's when people who aren't serious are usually hanging out in the gym, and that's the majority of people. If you're serious, you're going to get up at 5 a.m. You're going to be at that gym an hour away at 6:37 in the morning. You're going to be there the moment they open, whatever it happens to be. You can get in and you can spend an hour squatting, because if you have to cram all your stuff into one day, because let's say you can't get out there Monday through Friday, your weekends are all you have. You might have to squat for an hour. You might have to do 10 sets of squats to get enough squatting volume for the weekend in one day. It's not going to be ideal. You can get in there and do that. Take a 30-minute break, a 30-minute power nap. Do your standing presses, because you don't have access to a power rack any other time or a deadlift platform. You can only get out there once a week, and it's an hour away. All right, then break it up. Take a little break. Power nap, some food. They probably have a lounge area somewhere you can take a little quick nap at, relax at, some chairs. Relax, read a book for half an hour. Get up and do your pressing, your standing presses. And you might have to do those for an hour to get enough volume. Then another break. Then your deadlifts. Get back on your bus, your taxi, your car, and you get back home. it's going to take 5 hours out of your day. It's going to take 5 hours out of your day, requiring you to possibly get up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday. But if you're serious about your gains, you will do that. You will find a way to make that trip to a gym an hour away. It's 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning on Saturday. If you actually care at all about getting bigger and stronger, you care about your results, you'll find a way to do it. And then at that, whatever that other goof off gym you have access to, you probably can do some rows. You can do your bench presses, whatever days a week. You can find some little goof off gym you could do that in. I'd go so far as to say that if you can only afford that one gym membership, then that trip out there once a week takes all of your extra financial resources. Get yourself a cheap little chinning and dipping station at home, and the other days of the week you can get stronger at chin-ups and dips. Eventually afford yourself a little chain, a couple plates, even some light dumbbells, something you could hang around there to add weight, and you could do weighted chin-ups and weighted dips the rest of the week. If a person could manage to pull that off, who doesn't have easy access to proper equipment, you will get better results than the person who is goofing off and playing around and playing leapfrog and grab ass in a commercial gym full of nothing but Smith machines and hammer strength machines. You will get better results than the people playing around at Planet Fitness doing that stuff, because they're real exercises or serious exercises. Your whole body's getting trained. It's not ideal. It's not ideal, but if you're serious, you make the best of your situations. You'll find a way to get up there to spend 5 hours out of your Saturday morning doing squatting, pressing, deadlifting, and then when you get home the rest of the days, you can do, as many chin-ups and pull-ups and dips as you can recover from at home in a little corner of your bedroom, if that's all you have access to. Right? You'll get decently big and strong doing that. It's not ideal, but if a person is telling me I don't have access, then no, you have access. You could figure out how to do everything I just described. I promise you there's a gym you could get to an hour away on Saturday morning. I promise you got a corner in your bedroom you could stick a little cheap chin and dipping station. There's ones you can buy really cheap. You could eventually find a way to get a couple of cheap plates and a chain or a dipping belt for $20 so that you can do them weighted. And you can do that the rest of the week if that's all you can do. If there's no free weight gyms close by to you, you could do that. Instead of going in and playing on machines. I literally believe the machines are a waste of time. I believe they cause overuse, injuries, inflammation. I think they get you hurt. I think they're a waste of time. I wouldn't recommend using them at all. But any of you can pull off what I just described. So I don't want to hear this from people. I'm sorry, it's just sheer laziness. You don't want to do it. You don't want to have to travel an hour away to find a gym on Saturday morning. It's just laziness. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. Or you say, well, I'm a high school student, I can't afford it. Well, you need to find a way to afford it if you're serious. Otherwise, quit complaining and saying you want to do something that you don't actually want to do. You're not serious about your results. All the people who go to the gym and they play around the closest gym to them and they goof off on the machines for an hour a day are not actually serious about doing anything. They're not serious, guys. They're in there playing. And unless they blast a bunch of drugs, they're not going to get results. All right, that's not serious. Finding a way to pull off what I just said, even if it's just Saturday, and then training at home in the corner of your bedroom in a little dipping station and chinning station, that's actually serious. That's what you would do with extremely limited resources if you were serious, if you actually wanted results. Again, it's just people don't want it. They're not thinking outside the box. They don't have the actual desire to find a solution. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.